friends, welcome to Unacademy GATE ESE. This is Apuroop and you are watching Concepts in Minutes, and in this video we are going to talk about principle of superposition. You might have heard this term in strength of materials. Principle of superposition is a very important principle which we use in order to calculate the stresses and deformations when there are more than one loads acting simultaneously on a body. अगर किसी बॉडी पे एक से ज्यादा लोड एक साथ एक्ट कर रहा है तो स्ट्रेस या डिफॉर्मेशन कैलकुलेट करने के लिए हम इस प्रिंसिपल का यूज करते हैं. सो बेटा, today we are going to discuss exactly what is principle of superposition and in which case this principle is valid, in which case it is not valid. If you are watching me for the first time, let me introduce myself. My name is Apuroop, All India rank 320 in GATE Mechanical in my first attempt. I have done MTech from IIT Kharagpur and my specialization was Mechanical Systems Design. In my final year of MTech, I was recruited by Mahindra and Mahindra and I was placed at Mahindra Research Valley, where I served in the field of design. I was part of some really interesting projects. They were KUV, TUV 300. Then after 2 years, I decided to quit my job and I started teaching. So I've been teaching for more than 6 years now and I teach subjects related to design, SOM, MD, EM and TOP. Now let's talk about principle of superposition. So in order to explain principle of superposition, I am going to consider a really interesting example, a really simple example. Let's say we have a bar. And this bar is, let's say, subjected to two axial loads. Let's say P1 and P2. ठीक है, मान लो अपने पास एक बार है जिसपे दो लोड लग रहे हैं P1 and P2 and we need to find out the stress and change in length. हमको स्ट्रेस कैलकुलेट करना है और हमको चेंज इन लेंथ कैलकुलेट करना है. ओके, नाउ अकॉर्डिंग टू प्रिंसिपल ऑफ सुपरपोजिशन, let's say if you want to calculate the stress in the bar, then the stress due to P1 and P2 together will be equal to the stress developed due to P1 plus the stress developed due to P2. तो प्रिंसिपल ऑफ सुपरपोजिशन ये कहता है कि अगर आपको P1 और P2 दोनों से टोटल स्ट्रेस निकालना है तो P1 से स्ट्रेस निकाल लो, P2 से स्ट्रेस निकाल लो और दोनों को ऐड कर दो. Now let's prove this. So what will be the stress developed in this case? Total load is P1 plus P2 divided by area A, right? This is the total stress. What will be the stress developed in this case? Stress developed in this case will be equal to P1 by A. What will be the stress developed in this case? Stress developed in this case will be P2 by A. So can I say that P1 by A plus P2 by A will be equal to P1 plus P2 by A? Of course I can say that. So what does it mean? It means that if I want to calculate the total stress due to P1 and P2, I can calculate stresses developed due to P1 and P2 separately and then I can add them. So this is principle of superposition. I can calculate the deformation using the same principle. मैं इस principle को deformation calculate करने के लिए भी use कर सकता हूँ. What will be the change in length of the bar? So in this case, it will be P1 plus P2, which is the total load, multiplied by L divided by AE, right? In this case, it will be equal to P1 into L by AE, and in this case, sorry, I'm writing delta, and in this case, it will be P2 into L by AE. So if you add P1L by AE and P2L by AE, you are going to get the total change in length P1 plus P2L by AE. So it means that this is equal to this plus this. So this is principle of superposition. Now you might be thinking, can I use this principle in other loading conditions? This is the bar subjected to axial load. What about transverse loads? So yes, of course, this principle can also be applied in case of transverse load. आप इस principle को transverse load के case में भी use कर सकते हैं. For example, let's say we have a beam which is subjected to a load W as well as a moment M. Let's say we have a cantilever beam subjected to a load W as well as a couple M. So I can divide this into this loading condition W and M. And what can I calculate in this case? अब यहाँ क्या क्या calculate कर सकते हैं? We can calculate the bending stress. Okay, हम bending stress निकाल सकते हैं. We can calculate the bending stress. So sigma B will be equals to sigma B due to this W and sigma B due to this M. Okay, we can calculate the slope. Let's say this is theta A. Let's say this is A. So theta A will be equals to theta A due to W plus theta A due to M. We can also calculate the deflection YA. So YA will be equals to YA due to W plus YA due to M. So you can calculate the stress, you can calculate the deformation. Now the question is, okay, we can apply principle of superposition in every loading condition. That is clear. And we can calculate the stress, we can calculate the deformation. That is also clear. But what is the limitation of this principle? In which conditions it is valid, in which conditions it is not valid? So let's understand the limitation of principle of superposition. So principle of superposition is valid if first point and the most important point, whatever you are calculating, principle of superposition is valid if stress and deformation, whatever you are calculating, are within proportional limit. Now, why this is important, understand. Why the stresses should be within proportional limit, understand. If the stresses are within proportional limit, then only the stress will be directly proportional to load. The strain will also be directly proportional to load. स्ट्रेस और स्ट्रेन का यानी स्ट्रेस और डिफॉर्मेशन का लोड के साथ लीनियर रिलेशन होना बहुत जरूरी है. अदरवाइज यू कांट अप्लाई द प्रिंसिपल ऑफ सुपरपोजिशन. अंडरस्टैंड व्हाई. मान लो स्ट्रेस की इक्वेशन होती P1 प्लस P2 का होल स्क्वायर बाय, एक एग्जांपल के लिए बोल रहा हूं, लेट्स से दैट स्ट्रेस इज इक्वल टू दिस का स्क्वायर डिवाइडेड बाय ए. यहां पे हो जाता है ये P1 स्क्वायर बाय ए, यहां पे हो जाता है ये P2 स्क्वायर बाय ए. Now understand what is happening. If I open this bracket, I am going to get P1 square plus P2 square plus 2P1 P2. Here there will be P1 square, this will be P2 square. So in this case, this is not equal to this plus this. Why it is not equal to this plus this? Because now there is no linear relation between stress and load. Similarly, in deformation also, if there is no linear relation between deformation and load, then also you will not be able to apply principle of superposition. This is the reason why we can't use principle of superposition to calculate strain energy. Because in strain energy, the energy equation is directly proportional to load square. स्ट्रेन एनर्जी की इक्वेशन में स्ट्रेन एनर्जी जो होती है वो लोड के स्क्वायर के प्रोपोर्शनल होती है, और उस केस में प्रिंसिपल ऑफ सुपरपोजिशन इज नॉट वैलिड. ओके, so it is very important that there is a linear relation between the stress and load and deformation and load. Okay, this is the first point. The second point is deformations are very small. अब डिफॉर्मेशन का बहुत स्मॉल होना जरूरी है. अंडरस्टैंड व्हाई. आई एम सेइंग दैट द डिफॉर्मेशन ड्यू टू P1 plus P2 is equal to deformation due to P1 plus deformation due to P2, right? And in this case, when you are applying this equation and this equation, you are assuming that the length and area is same in both cases. But is this going to happen? Understand, if I apply the load P1, the length and area is going to change afterwards. After the application of load P1 load लगाने के बाद area और length जो है वो तो change हो जाएंगे. So when you will apply the load P2, will the area remain A? नहीं, यहां पे एरिया A है, ठीक है, इनिशियल एरिया लेते हैं हम, तो इनिशियल एरिया यहां A है, लेकिन P1 लोड लगाने के बाद एरिया जो है वो डिक्रीज हो जाएगा. द एरिया इज गोइंग टू रिड्यूस. सो हियर द एरिया शुड नॉट बी A, इट शुड बी लेस देन A. सिमिलरली here the length I am considering L, but after applying load P1 the length is going to increase. So here the length should not be L, it should be slightly greater than L. But in both cases I am using the same area, I am using the same length, and it is possible only if after the application of P1 the deformations are very very small, so I can neglect those deformation. अगर P1 लोड लगाने के बाद लेंथ और एरिया में चेंज जो आ रहा है वो बहुत नेग्लिजिबल है, तो मैं P2 लोड लगाते टाइम लेंथ और एरिया सेम कंसिडर कर सकता हूं. So that's why the principle of superposition is only valid if the individual deformations due to loads are very very small. Then we can neglect these changes. So these are the limitations of principle of superposition. In these conditions only principle of superpositions are valid. But throughout strength of materials, whenever we are studying strength of material, in every chapter we assume that stresses are within proportional limit and the deformations are very very small. That's why throughout strength of material we use this principle. हम पूरे strength of material में ये principle use करते हैं, क्योंकि पूरे strength of material में हम यही assume करके चलते हैं कि जो stresses हैं वो within proportional limit हैं and जो deformations आ रहे हैं वो बहुत बहुत small है. Okay, so this is principle of superposition which is valid in every loading condition. Okay, सारे लोडिंग कंडीशन हमने यहाँ पे एक्सियल लोड और ट्रांसवर्स लोड का एग्जांपल लिया. अगर टॉर्क लग रहा है, इन दैट केस आल्सो प्रिंसिपल ऑफ सुपरपोजिशन इज वैलिड. ओके, एंड वी यूज दिस प्रिंसिपल ऑफ सुपरपोजिशन मोस्टली इन बीम्स. मोस्टली हम बीम्स में यूज करते हैं. ओके, now if you want to know more about principle of superposition, if you want to solve problems of principle of superposition, then you can watch my free lectures of strength of materials. I have taken free lectures of engineering mechanics, strength of materials, machine design, theory of machines, vibration. So you can watch all my free lectures of these subjects You can even download the notes of these subjects by opening this one link, tinyurl.com/apuroop10. Just go to any web browser, type this in your address bar, tinyurl.com/apuroop10, enter, and you will open this page where you will find the folders of ebooks. You will also find these Excel sheets. What are these Excel sheets? These Excel sheets contain the link of all my classes, free lectures and the notes of those lectures. In Excel sheets में आपको मेरे सारे lectures की link मिल जाएगी, उनके PDF notes मिल जाएंगे. So just open this one link. बस ये एक link खोलना है आपको, tinyurl.com/apuroop10, and all my lectures you will find in one place, well organized. ये सारा चीज जो है मैं खुद personally update करता हूं. So all these Excel sheets are regularly updated. And if you want to attend my free lectures live, अगर आप मेरे free lectures को live attend करना चाहते हैं, then you just follow this Telegram channel, Apuroop10. Join this Telegram channel and you will find the links and notifications of all my upcoming classes, live classes, completely free. So just open Telegram app and search Apuroop10. And if you want to join a structured course for GATE, ESE or any PSU exam, then you can take Unacademy Plus subscription. On Unacademy Plus subscription, you will find India's top educators teaching in India's top batches. Now, what if you are thinking what is the difference between YouTube and Unacademy Plus? So understand, if you are only looking for broadcasted content means you will get the video lectures, but you will not be able to interact with the teacher. You will not be able to ask your doubts. You will not be able to clear your doubts. You will not be able to get your assignments and all. So if you don't want the interaction, if you just want the lectures, then you can watch live and recorded lectures completely free on YouTube. आपको ये broadcasted lectures के लिए एक भी रुपए पे करने की जरूरत नहीं है. आपको पूरा कंटेंट YouTube पे फ्री मिलेगा, 100% कंटेंट. ओके, बट if you don't want just broadcasted lectures, if you want to interact with the teacher, if you want to ask your doubts, if you want to interact with the class, if you want to solve quizzes, if you want assignments, if you want to check assignments, if you want all this, means overall if you want a classroom experience, अगर आपको एक classroom वाला experience चाहिए, live classroom वाला experience चाहिए, जहां आप टीचर के साथ interact कर सको, बात कर सको, doubts पूछ सको, अपने assignment के solutions check करवा सको. So if you want all that, then you take Unacademy Plus subscription. Here you will get multiple educators teaching in multiple batches, and the best thing is with one subscription all these batches and lectures will be open for you. Means you can attend any lecture in any batch. That is up to you, no restriction. यहाँ आपको lectures attend करने के, batches join करने के लिए कोई restriction नहीं मिलेगा. तो आप किसी भी batch में कोई भी lecture attend कर सकते हैं. तो मल्टीपल एजुकेटर्स हैं, बहुत सारे एजुकेटर्स हैं, एक ही सब्जेक्ट पढ़ा रहे हैं और सारे एजुकेटर्स इंडिया के बेस्ट हैं. तो आप इनमें से किसी से भी पढ़ सकते हो. दैट विल बी योर चॉइस. ओके, सो इफ यू वांट टू टेक एन अकेडमी प्लस सब्सक्रिप्शन, यू कैन टेक 1 year, 1.5 year और 2 year सब्सक्रिप्शन यूजिंग दिस कोड. आप Apuroop10 रेफरल कोड यूज कर सकते हैं. यू आर गोइंग टू गेट 10% ऑफ इमीडिएटली एंड यू कैन पे दिस फी इन EMI ऑल्सो. And if you are using this code Apuroop10, you are not only getting 10% off, you are also getting my personal guidance. See, if you are using my referral code, means you are being referred to Unacademy by me. आप मेरा referral code use कर रहे हैं, मतलब आप मेरे reference पे Unacademy जा रहे हैं. तो आप मेरी जिम्मेदारी है. You will be my responsibility. I will guide you throughout your preparation. मैं पूरे preparation के दौरान आपके साथ रहूंगा, आपको guide करता रहूंगा. Okay? You can take 1 year or 2 year Unacademy Iconic subscription also. Now, what is the difference between Plus subscription and Iconic subscription? In Iconic subscription, you are going to get a personal coach. So, whatever you are going to get in Plus, you will get in Iconic also. But apart from that, you will also get a personal coach who will provide you a customized schedule for your studies, who will prepare all the study material for you, who will analyze your test scores, where you are making mistakes, how you can improve those mistakes. So beta, if you want a personal coach for your preparation, then you can take Iconic subscription using the same code. If you want to talk about Unacademy or subscription more, you can always contact me. You can even message me on Unacademy app. And if you want to talk about preparation strategy also, you can contact me. Before leaving, don't forget to hit the like button, share the link and subscribe to this channel. I will keep coming with such kind of videos. If you have any suggestion, you can write it in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Till then, bye bye. Take care.